So 2025 is already an explosive year for the gaming industry. It's only 10 days in at the time of filming this, and so many things has happened already that I honestly can't believe. We got the delay of Assassin's Creed Shadows. We got companies firing people already. I mean, it's absolutely insane. Now we have apparently Tencent, the company that is most likely going to buy out Ubisoft because of their massive failures. Tencent apparently has recently been labeled by the US Department of Defense as a Chinese military company. I kid you not. And they are so upset at this, they are so angry at this, that they are threatening that they will take it to legal proceedings for being labeled as a military company.
If I ask you right now, off the top of your head, to name the biggest game companies in the world, what would you say? Probably Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, maybe EA, Activision Blizzard, right? Throw in a couple of other big names for good measure. But not many people are going to say Tencent.
Now again, ladies and gentlemen, this is absolutely insane. I did not think that Tencent of all companies will be labeled a Chinese military company in 2025, and yet here we are seeing this happen before our eyes. I wonder how this would affect a potential Ubisoft buyout. Not that, Ubisoft's not a US-based company anyway, but still, I wonder how this would affect the buyout, if anything, if they would try to move forward with it. So let's get into this article, guys, from Phantom Post. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Chinese developer Tencent threatened that it will take legal proceedings against the United States Department of Defense after it was labeled a Chinese military company. The Department of Defense issued a document titled the following: Notice of Availability of Designation of Chinese Military Companies. The document is a list of entities that the Deputy Secretary of Defense, Kathleen Hicks, believes qualify as Chinese military companies in accordance with the William M. Thornberry National Defense Authorization Act for the fiscal year of 2021. Tencent Holdings Limited is included in the list. Now, I don't know if they're going to say that in the article, but I'll look it up later if that's not the case. But I gotta know what the hell these guidelines are for Tencent to be qualified as a military company, right? And I find that to be insane. I don't know about anybody else, but I really do find that to be insane. And I know that the US government is cracking down on Chinese-owned companies. I know that. I mean, look what's happening with TikTok, right? TikTok is supposedly, anyway, for like the 100th time now, going to be shut down on January 19th, one day before the inauguration of President Donald Trump. But still, they are supposedly shutting down TikTok. So they're definitely targeting these Chinese companies. And I wonder if that has any correlation to it. But anyway, Tencent issued a response. And this is the most important thing about it. So let's read it. Tencent's response is the following. As the company is neither a Chinese military company nor a military civil fusion contributor to the Chinese defense industrial base, it believes that its inclusion in the CMC list is a mistake. Unlike other lists maintained by the U.S. government for sanctions or export control measures, inclusion in the CMC list relates only to the U.S. defense procurement, which does not affect the business of the group. A continued inclusion in the CMC list will not prohibit any persons other than the Department of Defense from business dealings with the company, including transacting in the securities of the company. Finally, it declared the company intends to initiate a reconsideration process to correct this mistake. During the process, it will engage in discussions with the U.S. Department of Defense to resolve any misunderstanding, and if necessary, will undertake legal proceedings to remove the company from the CMC list. So, I mean, it's a pretty nice response overall, I gotta say, but ultimately, I don't think they're gonna get removed. I really don't, because when the U.S. Department of Defense does something like this, they normally make it permanent. I really haven't seen anybody that's been labeled as a military company get removed from this list after, XYZ amount of time, but I guess we're gonna find out. So it says Tencent Holding contains a number of subsidiaries, including Tencent Games, Tencent Video, Tencent Pictures, Tencent News, Tencent Sports, Tencent Animation, and Comics, and more. It also runs a number of social media accounts, including Wixen, WeChat, QQ, and Qzone. Furthermore, it also provides a number of financial services, including Tencent Blockchain, QQ Wallet, Business Tenpay, and more. Finally, it also owns Tencent Mobile Manager, QQ Mail, Tencent Map, QQ Browser, and other browser and email management tools. Now, you know what's insane? I know that Tencent is a huge company. Like, we get that, right? It's one thing for someone to tell you Tencent is a huge company. It's another thing to truly understand just how huge Tencent actually is and the reason why that is, right? They have their hands in so many pots It's ridiculous. Not only that, they are invested in a multitude of other companies that they potentially want to buy out. I'm looking at you, Ubisoft. They're invested in a multitude of other companies aside from their own, but they have so many subsidiaries, it's insane. A lot of these Chinese companies do that. They do multiple different subsidiaries, and it's like a company for a company for a company. They constantly do that to try to make it harder to keep control over them. That's really what it is, too. The games portion of the company offers more than 140 self-developed and licensed games across 200 countries and regions, which provides hundreds of millions of users with cross-platform interactive entertainment experiences. Honor of Kings, PUBG Mobile, and League of Legends are some of the most popular titles around the world. Other games that the company owns or co-owns includes Call of Duty Mobile, Naruto, Warhammer 40k Dark Tide, Saint Seiya, Dune Awakening, The Division 2, Fortnite, Perfect World, Red Alert OL, Digimon, New Generation, and more. It also owns partially owns a number of studios including Funcom, Riot Games, Supercell, Epic Games, Bloober Team. Wow, the people who made Silent Hill 2 remake, they partially own Bloober Team, Netmarble, From Software, Remedy Entertainment, wow, Krafton, Ubisoft, and Katawaka Corporation, amongst others. This is crazy. And again, Tencent is a company, when somebody tells you they're huge, that's one thing. But when you look at this list and you realize how much they actually either own or partially own or are invested in, it's disgusting how big they actually are. So again, ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, what's going to happen here is that they're just going to file an appeal to some extent, and they're going to see if they can get their names removed from the CMC list. But like the article said, even if this company is on the CMC list, it doesn't matter. It doesn't stop anybody from doing business dealings with Tencent aside from the actual Department of Defense. They're the only ones, once they're on this list, they cannot do any business dealings with them. But aside from that, they are still able to do business dealings in anywhere they want. That's basically it. So there's nothing really slowing them down or stopping them if they go on this list other than their reputation. They don't want to have their reputation be tied to a military company. They don't want to be considered a military company. And again, I don't know what those guidelines are from 2021 that's making it seem as if they are a military company, but I will definitely be looking into this and see if I find anything that's worth of note. But still, this was from 2021, and they're applying these rules in 2025, 4 years later. If those rules are something that's extreme, then that's something different. But like Tencent says, they don't donate to the Chinese Defense Fund. They don't donate to anything like that. They don't send money to the Chinese military organization. Now, according to them anyway, that might be a lie, right? That might be a lie. I'm not going to take them at face value. Who knows? But in terms of transacting and securities of the company, it seems like it's pretty legit. But a lot of people have a big fear when it comes to giving Chinese companies any kind of information, money, or anything of the sort. It's a huge deal because they're all tied together in one different, in one view. That's how people view Chinese companies, as all one thing. So ultimately, we're going to find out what happens here as time goes on, but I don't think they're going to be able to get removed from the list. But I got to imagine something like this is going to take quite a while for us to be able to go through. So don't expect an answer anytime soon. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know your thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.